they know that they love to pass the football. So if they're going to stop Baltimore today, it all resides on stopping receivers, limiting the passing options for Baltimore here. But nonetheless, it'll be an exciting matchup to watch here tonight, Andy.
Yeah, the number one team on paper, both offensively and defensively, the Baltimore Vultures in town. They are in the white uniforms with black trim. DC is welcoming them, black jerseys, gold trim, but for Baltimore, 41 points per game on the offensive side. They only allow 16 on the defensive side. DC only used to scoring about 27 on offense. They will have to up that output or slow down Baltimore's high-powered offense. These teams have only met once since both rejoining the SFL. It was a 30-27 victory back in April of this year. Baltimore got the win on the road right here in this stadium, and DC is going to try and prevent that from happening again. Baltimore will receive the opening kick. DC has the ball on the tee. Hand is raised in the air, and week 6 action is underway from DC. Return here coming out for Baltimore. Will angle across the 25, and Giovanni Bull all the way out to the 29 to get this thing started. The Baltimore offense for you. Jack Wigmore, the quarterback. Jimmy Hazard is the rookie running back. T. Roy Gaines, the fullback. Ivory Irvin, Daley Holder, and Mac Chima are the receiving threats, along with Lloyd Graham Jr., the tight end. And Shark Tarkington, in his 7th season, does the kicking for this Vultures unit. Best in the league, and we'll see what DC's defense has for him here. Starting out 1st and 10 from their own 29. Give up the middle. That is T. Roy Gaines right up the gut, and he will pick up only a yard.
Very interesting that they start off with a run here. We're so used to seeing Baltimore pass the football here. Just last week in their splits, their passing was 44-20 in favor of their passing plays. So a good start by the DC Dragons to stop T. Roy Gaines for only 1 yard.
And in that game, it was the quarterback for Baltimore, Wigmore, 81% completion percentage. Going to take a deep shot here, tipped up and incomplete off the leg of the receiver, but a nice defensive play there on the outside by Jack Russell.
Yeah, and Jack Russell, he's had a couple interceptions so far in this season. I would say 5 in total. He's T4 among the league in interceptions in the season, and he's done a great job by stopping that deep pass from starting, because you don't want to get Baltimore going with that passing offense, especially after 418 yards from Wigmore last week.
3rd and 9. DC trying to get off the field. Wigmore floats one. Backside caught. Ivory Irvin all the way down to the 41. His entrance to the game is a big one.
Yeah, and that's he's picking up where he left off. He had 239 and 2 touchdowns last week. That jumped him all the way up to tops in the receiving category, and now he gets a deep pass from Jack Wigmore, and that's exactly what you don't want from the DC defense, is letting Jack Wigmore get these passes deep down the field.
4-3 look here out. I think that might be a 4-4 out of DC. Here is the throw from Wigmore on the out route, caught, and if that is the 4-4, that play might be open for a majority of the day as Chima goes out of bounds for 1st down yardage.
Yeah, and DC decided to go deep on their corners there to prevent another deep pass from happening. And this time, Wigmore decided to go with Mac Chima on the deep out route. Gave himself a couple extra yards of run as well to get to that 1st down. And Baltimore is very much threatening on just 2 passing plays completed.
Here is the 1st down play. Wigmore under pressure, just got rid of it before being buried in the backfield. Exodus O'Brien supplies the heat.
Yeah, and that's what DC wants to do. If they can't stop Wigmore from completing passes, they want to hurry his cadences up, and that's exactly what happened there. We saw Exodus O'Brien. I believe John Gary was also on the opposite side getting ready to hit Wigmore as well. So a good job by DC to kind of halt the Baltimore offense from moving forward.
Trying to halt them here at the 30, within field goal range for the time being. 2 in the backs, and here is Wigmore. Quick out route catch by Chima is going to be complete. 7 yards on the pickup to the outside.
Yeah, and when you think of Baltimore, you think of deep passes, but getting Mac Chima on that short out route and give himself a couple extra yards to gain as well to get even closer to the red zone. Pretty good idea from Baltimore there, and now it's a 3rd down situation where it's an open playbook.
Two tight ends on the field for the Vultures. 3-4 look here out of DC, shifting around on that defensive side. Wigmore going to throw for it, fires underneath, and Irvin has the first down. They have been peppering the outsides, and they go inside for first down yardage.
Yeah, this time it's an inside cross route for Ivory Irvin there, and it was a very nice catch. Good patience from Jack Wigmore to wait until Irvin was open to get that pass down the middle of the field, and that's a first down for Baltimore inside the 20 now.
Wigmore, the most completions in the SFL coming into this week, and he already has 4 today. Now T-Roy Gaines up the middle. The fullback will rip off 6, and it looks like that Baltimore is trying to key on that fullback run.
Yeah, and T-Roy with his second carry there. He saw 12 last week for 19 yards. Not a big productive day for T-Roy, but definitely getting a good gain there. 6 yards is nothing to scoff at for a first down run play.
That brings up 2nd and 4 from the 12. Wigmore on a 5-step drop, pressure coming, unloads underneath. That is caught. More first down yardage there for Baltimore. They continue to move the chains.
Yeah, and Baltimore, now that they know they're inside the red zone, they're deciding to go inch their way to the end zone and shed a little bit of clock, because with those first 2 passing completions that they got the mass chunk of their yardage out of the way, and now they're just chipping away, trying to get closer and closer to the end zone. They're getting first downs.
Bunch formation, bottom of the screen, nickel look here out of DC on 1st and goal from the 7. Wigmore, short drop, floats back in the end zone, caught, taps the toes. It's a touchdown for Baltimore and a score for Lloyd Graham Jr.
And what a pinpoint pass from Jack Wigmore. That's exactly the spot where you want to take it. If you're looking to get those that tippy toe kind of end zone grab, Lloyd Graham Jr. just had to run to the spot and get his feet inside the end zone, and that's exactly what happened. Baltimore strikes first in this matchup, in DC, you're going to have to respond quickly because Baltimore has been red hot on offense the last 2 weeks.
Cannot afford to let to let Baltimore, score too many times without an answer. A 10-play, 70-yard drive from the Baltimore Vultures, capped off with the 5-yard pass to the tight end. Lloyd Graham Jr. gives the best in the league Baltimore Vultures a 7-0 lead over the DC Dragons, and they just went right down the field, Brett.
Yeah, it seemed very quick, but they also had that quick to slow transition, especially, like I said, once they got into the red zone, they started chipping away and getting these small yardage passes completed for first downs and eventually getting that Lloyd Graham Jr. touchdown.
And now they will kick it back off. DC brings it out of the end zone across the 20, spinning out to the 23. If you're new to the SFL, Simulation Football League combines traditional esports, sports, and a role-playing game all into one. Team strategies are executed in real time by our simulations as real-life players compete on the virtual gridiron. For more information about our league, you can visit our website, simulationfl.net. That's simulationfl.net. The SFL, we put the fan in fantasy, and we put our fans on the field, and DC's offense comes out onto the field for their first drive. Give off this left side. Ooh, that was about 1 tackle away from being in the pay dirt for Kevin Say.
And Kevin Say has been a deadly force for the DC offense so far in this season. 8th in rushing yards in the league. He's got 503. He's 6th in touchdowns. First in average carry, averages per carry. He's averaging over 6 yards per carry, which is amazing to see through the first 5 weeks.
Second season in the league for Say. They'll feed him again off this left side. He angles it back inside, only picks up 2. Rest of the DC offense for you. Shabazz Synergy, the quarterback, in his 4th season in the league. Chris Britton is the fullback who leads the way for the halfback Kevin Say. Mike Churchill, Jeff Banfield, Josh Gill, wide receivers. Rupert Westcloud, the tight end. And Pawty is the kicker. 3rd and 3. Gotta have it for the Dragons. Here is the deep shot from Synergy.
Nice.
Caught right side over the defender. Jeff Banfield, first down to the 47.
And I give credit to that pass from Shabazz Synergy on that one. He definitely aired the ball, had enough time for Banfield to get to the spot, and got that great catch. As you can see, 35 was looking to get a deflection, if not an interception on that. Was maybe a few yards too close that he should have been, and Banfield got himself an open catch, an extra few yards. And this is what DC wants. They want to progress, and they want to get further down the field for that first down.
Right over the head of Ben Stackenpaper to set DC down to the 47, 1st and 10, trying to match Baltimore's opening drive, which went for 7 points. 2 in the backfield, spread look here against a 3-3 out of Baltimore's defense. Synergy, short drop, will dump it out of the backfield to Kevin Say. Say against a whole host of Vultures, and let's go through this Baltimore defense for you. Al Walker, Tucker Lewis are the defensive ends. Nate Brown and Ciron Yates, the fourth, are the defensive tackles. Frank Smith, Keenan Samuels, and Alvin Mack, the linebacking core. Marvin Himes, Ben Stackenpaper, and Austin Brigham, the cornerbacks. Giovanni Bolt, along with Troy Loshar, the veteran safeties, 8 and 7 seasons in the league, respectively. Bolt, 7 of them here in Baltimore. Synergy looks to throw, floats it, right into the seam. Beautiful toss there underneath. Josh Gill on the other end of it to bring it home.
Synergy is looking to be on his game here in this first quarter here. What a threading pass to Josh Gill, who's been a great receiver for DC so far this season, getting himself the first down, getting an extra yard or two on that one there, and now DC's in enemy territory.
Yeah, ripped it right through the zone there, right past the defender who floated back out of the flats. Short drop, Synergy floats. Wow. Another one! One-on-one coverage, and Banfield comes down with it. His second grab of the day.
Yeah, that's a combined effort. A great pass from Synergy, but even a better catch from Banfield. He had a defender right at him. That's 36 on there, which is going to be...
It's Troy Loshaw, the veteran.
Troy Loshaw, just a step behind there, was trying to catch up on his coverage, and Banfield still managed to get the catch, and now DC's inside the red zone.
In the red zone at the 17, trying to punch this one in. They'll give it right up the middle. Kevin Say, only a yard out of him. And in the run game, they've done really well in the pass, but Synergy, you said it best, Brett, I think needs to definitely step up today if they're going to try and beat Baltimore, and so far today he's done that.
Yeah, he can't have a game like he had last week where it was only 234 yards, only 1 touchdown and 2 interceptions. He's got to forget about last week and definitely ball out this week.
2nd and 9 here from the Baltimore 16. Here is Synergy, going to dump it out to Say with room on the top side. Say, first down and more. Say to the goal line. Did he get in? A penalty flag first. We'll see what that is. But Say, right there at the pylon, met the defender, and we'll have to see exactly where he ended up. Keenan Samuels was the one trying to keep him out, and that penalty is going to be a late hit. The Dragons will accept it, and we'll have to take a look. Here is the late hit.
It looks to me that he went out of bounds. I would say like the 1.5 yard line here. And once he went out of bounds, Samuels was a little bit too greedy with the hit. And once he knew he was out of bounds, and he still hit him after the fact. And now Baltimore probably moving a half yard closer, and then getting also that first and goal regardless of the fact. So this is a great opportunity for DC here.
Goal line look here out of the DC defense. A single yard stands between DC and a touchdown. They'll give it, Say, left side, and he won't get there. Stuffed in the hole. Huge play from Baltimore's Frank Smith.
And I thought Say was in the end zone there from that view, but Smith decided otherwise on there. What a great hit coming out of almost nowhere, it looked like, from our booth here. And now it's a 2nd and goal from the chin hair line, essentially, for DC.
Goal line look again. Give, Say, left side with blockers. Say, through the arm, tackle and in. 6 points for DC. They answer.
That's a big response from DC, because you have to remember Baltimore had an absolutely fantastic outing last week, basically blanking Las Vegas 34-0. So they're trying to look where they left off here. So DC getting that immediate response shows that they're ready to play against an undefeated Baltimore team that is hitting in all cylinders here. And already through these first two drives, we're finding impressive stuff from both teams. It's already an amazing game to start off, Andy.
Yeah, the Dragons, not necessarily the high-powered offense that Baltimore has been, but that doesn't mean they can't score. We saw, Brett, in week one, they scored 52 points in a loss to Vancouver. They've scored 34 and 27 in victories, but have kind of hit a skid in the last two games, losing on the road to Louisiana and Mexico City, both under 21 points in those games from their offense, and today trying to get it back going. Back here in D.C. against Baltimore, so far so good. 7 all, just need to get some more production out of the defense, and for Baltimore, that first drive on offense was about as clean as they come. They'll have a second chance here. Going to bring it out of the end zone is Giovanni Bolt, out across the 20, angle to the right side. Bolt still on his feet. Bolt using the acceleration down to the 33.
And that's a good start for the Baltimore offense to get started with that. Giovanni Bolt shedding a tackle and going outside a little bit, getting about 7 or 8 extra yards, getting past the 30. It's always good stuff to have less than 70 yards to work with for your offense, because now that Baltimore can really do anything that they want and not really worry too much about it.
Tie game, all back at 7. Here's Wigmore to throw. That one offline. I couldn't tell if he was looking for Irvine or Graham. They're going to highlight Graham. I think it might have been him.
Yeah, it looked like it could be any of the two receivers there. But if DC is going to stop Jack Wigmore, they have to limit his completions. That's probably the one category that he's not amongst the top of. He's 11th amongst quarterbacks in the SFL in completion percentage. So if he can bring that completion percentage down in this game, DC has a huge chance of overcoming this Baltimore offense.
Yeah, they throw the ball a lot. The question will be, how many of them can he complete? Wigmore floats across the middle. That's caught. Irvin on a short route makes it 3rd and 7. A bit more manageable, but you have to feel, Brett, like this is a huge chance for DC.
Yeah, this is a big opportunity. If they can stop Baltimore on their tracks in this 3rd down, they're going to have a lot of momentum going into their own drive coming up here. So this is a big stop opportunity for DC as Wigmore's in the shotgun.
5 receivers wide. Here's Wigmore under pressure. Fumbles the football, and the Baltimore Vultures fall on it, luckily, but that ends it. Exodus O'Brien came in and punched that thing out.
Unbelievable stuff from O'Brien. We saw a little bit of his work last week with 2 tackles and a tackle for loss, but that's a little bit of an unorthodox game for him. We see him dominate certain games, especially this season for DC, and now he's coming back with a forced fumble, and Baltimore's forced to punt.
Baltimore going to send on the punter, and now DC will take the ball back. Kick is away and returned out across the 40, across the 45. Good field position for the Dragons, out to the 47.
Yeah, and the 47, it's basically at 53 yards if you do the math to the end zone for DC now, and they can start off with a couple Kevin Say runs if they want, which I would have to believe they would love to do, because they love feeding the ball to Kevin Say as much as they can. But for synergy, I think the pressure's off now that you're starting at the 47.
7 touches so far for Say today, 25 yards via the air and ground. They will toss it down to this near side. Caught Josh Gill, good for 5, out to the 48.
A decent out route to start off the drive there. It almost looked like they were going to go to Kevin Say on that flat route pass, but Gill found himself open on the opposite side of the field and gets a nice gain of yards for DC for a 2nd and medium.
Now they'll go empty on 2nd and 5, just over 2 minutes to play here in this first frame from DC. Quick throw from Synergy, caught, plucked out of the air. Jeff Banfield, another grab.
I looked down to my second screen for a second. All of a sudden, it was out of Shabazz Synergy's hands. A very nice catch from Jeff Banfield, who is already heating up in this this first quarter already. He has already got over 65 yards of receiving on this first quarter alone.
Now Synergy looking to throw it again. Stands in the pocket, takes the hit, throws.
Wow.
Caught! Oh, 2-on-1, and it's Banfield again.
Man, what a start for Jeff Banfield. He's getting himself open. He's fighting for the football. Look at that. You had 41 right on him. Giovanni Bolt, who had 3 interceptions last week in their victory against Las Vegas, almost got one here, but Banfield said, nuh-uh, I want this catch. I want to get over 100 yards in this first quarter, which he's almost close at. He's already at 83.
Shabazz Synergy showing no fear. 8 of 8 to start this game. 13 yards per attempt. Now they go with Thunder to Kevin Say. He'll pick up a few. 2nd and goal.
Yeah, and it's a good job by Kevin Say there to not fall down behind the line of scrimmage. He had 2 guys on him basically behind the line, and he still fought his way to get a couple of yards there. DC, they're balling out in this first quarter, that's for sure.
Now they go 4 wide, single back offset to the left, trying to take the lead. Give Say, no. Baltimore all over that one. Right there was Al Walker to shut that run down.
Yeah, Walker had his offensive line opponent basically beat right away on the snap, and he got right to Say right in his face after he grabbed the ball and just said, "Nuh-uh, you ain't getting any yards from me, my dude," and then pushes him back 3 yards.
Now they'll go 4 wide, gun straight on 3rd and goal. Will they snap it before the end of the first? They will. Synergy floats across the middle, incomplete. Ooh. Could have been pass interference. The linebacker was there in coverage, and it'll fall incomplete. Alvin Mack.
I believe you might have been correct on that one, but there was a couple other players along that line too, so they could have interfered with Alvin Mack as well. So nonetheless, it's a good stop from Baltimore from preventing 6 points here, and now they're going to have to see if Pati gets the kick here.
Pati puts it up, and it is good from 26 yards. DC pushes their way in front right at the end of the first quarter, 10-7.
Yeah, you're going to have to take anything that you can at this point for points.
DC does just that. They take the points right before the break. We'll be back with the second quarter live from DC. Following a short break, you're watching the SFL presented by APM Music. Back here in DC, Andy Hamilton along with Brett Solberg, Mark Lopez, and Justin Reside running the stats truck for us. Cameron Irvine behind the scenes producing as we get set for the second quarter. 10-7, DC adds a field goal right before the break if you're just tuning in. And now Baltimore will get the football back. Their first drive went for a touchdown. The second drive stalled out, and they had to punt. Brett, we'll see what this third one has for them.
Yeah, and then first quarter play stats that we've seen so far, kind of already mirroring their last week totals. Like I said before, 44-20 were the past two run plays. So far in this game, 10-2 in favor of passing. So we're gonna have to see how this second quarter goes in terms of their play splits.
Split backs in the back to start this one. 3-4 look here out of DC. Wigmore to throw on first down, fires, and Irvin has it, and that will be good down to the 40.
Yeah, it looked like Ivory Irvin was wide open from the start there. Irvin with a nice post route going down to the middle, getting a nice catch. Very clearly he was wide open. There was a couple of guys, including Clint Hendershot, it looks like the linebacker, a few yards away from Irvin, so that made it an easy catch and a first down for Baltimore.
Certainly part of what Baltimore can do with this offense that can stretch the field, stretch every boundary, deep, short, outside, through the middle. You have to be prepared to cover some of those deep balls. DC does that, and they fire underneath. Another underneath toss here to Jimmy Hazard. Hazard shakes one and dances his way to the 45 before Afalabi knocks him out of bounds.
And not a bad start to introduce yourself into the game. Jimmy Hazard with a nice catch going down the flats there and giving himself a lot of speed going down to the sideline to get 6 yards and setting up a second and medium to short situation for Baltimore.
3 receivers, bunch to the top, 1 down to the bottom. Wigmore changes the play at the line, has Hazard behind him. He will take a 4-step drop, gonna fire deep down the middle of the field, tipped up and incomplete. Was looking for Lloyd Graham Jr., but the coverage there on the DC side was good, and Jack Russell makes the play.
Yeah, Jack Russell, one of, it looks like about 3 defenders pretty close to the spot there, but Russell was the main coverage guy on that deep look for Lloyd Graham Jr. Just about had the interception, looks like, on that, as we see the replay. DC doing a good job with those deep passes and limiting Wigmore's production here so far in this first half.
3rd and 4, another chance for DC to get off the field. This would be big if they could make the stop. 4 receivers wide and a trips formation. Here is Wigmore on play action. Gonna fire it deep down the middle. It's tipped up and incomplete. Linebackers dropping back in coverage. Riley Hughes there to get a hand to it.
And Riley Hughes last week, I have to put this down. Last week he had 16 tackles that pushed him to the top of the leaderboard of tackles in the SFL, with already 60 through the season. And this time he gets the pass deflection and again another 4th down punt for Baltimore, which is a good sign for the DC fans.
Hughes makes the play, and DC's offense will get the ball back. They'll call for the fair catch here at the 22. Well, Brett, you being a receiver in the league yourself, you certainly have an eye for the receiving threats. And Banfield, just 36 yards last week, but this week doing his thing so far.
This man already has 113 yards receiving through 1 quarter of football. Most players in the SFL dream to have 100 yards in a game. He already has it in the first quarter. Synergy is doing a great job finding Banfield early in this game.
1st and 10. We'll see if he finds him anytime this drive. Give left side, Say, buried in the backfield. Baltimore prepared for the run. Frank Smith comes up and drops Kevin Say.
That's exactly what happened there, is that Baltimore was ready for that stretch play to the left side, and basically the entire right-hand side of the Baltimore defense was ready for the stretch, and they followed the line, got through the gap, and hit Say early.
Weak guy spread here, 3-3 look out of Baltimore. Synergy will give off this right side to Say, and Say popped in the backfield. Keenan Samuels drops him.
Yeah, that's a big man's hit right there. Keenan Samuels says, "Hey, you might no longer be a rookie, but I'm gonna treat you like one with this hit." Unbelievable hit from Keenan Samuels to stop Say in his tracks. This is a big 3rd down for DC though.
3rd and 12. Got to be careful with the football. A punt is not detrimental. Here's Synergy, toss across the middle, tipped up and intercepted. LaShaw down the left side of the 20. Just when it couldn't get worse, Baltimore is set up in the red zone already.
Yeah, that's a tip drill interception there, and we saw a lot of interceptions last week from Baltimore, which led to their defensive success here. And if this is going to be a momentum shifter for Baltimore, this is a good way to do that with an interception, getting them basically right the line of the red zone and giving the Baltimore offense plenty of opportunity to get some kind of points on this upcoming drive.
Vultures take over with a chance to get back in the lead. Here is Wigmore, 4-step drop, fires underneath, caught. Irvin down to the 16 with just a 3-yard grab before Russell shuts it down.
Yeah, it's a short, another cross route that was open to Ivory Irvin there, but I do have to give credit to DC secondary on this play specifically, because Wigmore wanted to throw it deep to the end zone, and the DC secondary wasn't letting it happen, so he had to resort to a short 3-yard pass to Irvin.
In the backfield, they will give right up the middle. Jimmy Hazard cut down from behind at the 12, but this is a 3rd down that DC would love to get a stop on and bail their offense out.
That had to be the fastest 4-yard rushing play that I've ever seen. Basically 1 second, and Hazard was already 4 yards up the field to get a hit and get that 3rd and 3 opportunity here.
Single back is Hazard again. Here is Wigmore to throw. Wigmore underneath to Irvine, has the 1st down. Irvin down to the 9.
Yeah, and it looked like a couple of the defenders were almost looked a little bit shocked when Irvin made the catch there, kind of stopped in their tracks as Irvin was trying to settle with the ball there. Definitely an opportunity to stop him behind the 1st down line, but Baltimore has that 1st down and now a 1st and goal.
Single back, 3 receivers wide to the top. Wigmore looking to throw it, slings it out to Hazard. Hazard fights through one and is smacked in the mouth at the 4.
Yeah, that's another big hit there, but the big thing for Baltimore is that they're progressing forward. They did this on their 1st drive when they were inching closer, shedding a little bit of clock in the process, but also getting those 1st down plays and inching closer and closer to the end zone, and that's what we're seeing on this drive here.
Strong-eyed Twins to the bottom of the screen. They'll give Hazard stretching it right. Hazard can't get to the goal line. Wrapped up at the 2. It'll be 3rd and goal.
A very nice wrap-up by the defense of DC there. They don't want to allow another 7 points here, and they don't want to get behind in the 2nd quarter, because Baltimore can definitely be deadly as the game comes along. So a good stop to prevent them from the 2. A huge 3rd down for both teams.
In the backfield, they'll give T-Roy Gaines up the middle. Gaines not going to get there. DC shuts it down. They're not having any of it. The Dragons' John Gary drags him down.
There was an open gap on the left side, and T-Roy took the risk to see if he could push his offensive line a little bit forward to the end zone, but John Gary was not having any of that. Gets to T-Roy, stops him at the 1. Now they're going to have to force 3.
Goal line stand from DC, and Baltimore will have to settle for a field goal attempt. Tarkington up and good. Now 10-all, but that seems like a huge shift in momentum, Brett.
Yeah, and DC, it looked like after that interception, it was the end with Baltimore's progression down the 20 yards of space that they had. It looked like they were going to score 7, but DC with a huge goal line stop, like you said, and only allowing 3 points on that drive from what could have been a disastrous 2nd quarter for them, turns into something promising.
Dragons will get the ball back. They will bring it out across the 20, out to the 24. And let's go back to SFL Studios for an update from Portland and London. Cam?
Thanks, Andy. Mike, after an Ezekiel Love touchdown, Pickler answers.
Yeah, Cam. Ezekiel Love with a nice touchdown run on Portland's 1st drive, but on London's 2nd drive, Johnny Pickler finds one of his favorite targets, Vin Kalia, on a long 60-yard touchdown. He outduels him for the catch here, goes in for the touchdown, 7-7 early in Portland.
Tie game back to our nation's capital. Andy and Brett.
Thanks, Cam. Back in DC, Kevin Say takes the first play from scrimmage, gets a yard. They have struggled to get Say involved.
Yeah, and Say, they're giving Say plenty of opportunities here to try to get himself going, but it's so far the Baltimore defense has done a great job basically singling him out and stopping any production from happening.
I-twins formation here on 2nd and 9. Short drop for Synergy out to Say there. Say can't evade the first tackle. Frank Smith wraps him up.
And Frank Smith has already had a big game, as you can see on the ticker down below there. 4 tackles already in this first half, and so far Say's having a little bit of a struggle. I would say look at your receivers on this next play, which is exactly what they're going to do here.
Gun straight on 3rd and 7. Receiver to the top side could be a threat. Here is Synergy looking to throw it. Synergy going to throw to this close side, and it's tipped away incomplete. Stacking Paper there in coverage.
Yeah, that was a big deflection from Stacking Paper, because the receiver there had about a yard or two of space ahead of him, so there's a definite opportunity of a big catch and even more of a catch and run opportunity there. But Stacking Paper with those Stacking Paper-esque hands and gets the nice deflection to force a 4th down for DC.
Big play for Baltimore as they get their defense off the field again. 2nd time in a row the defense has made a big play, and they will get the ball back for their offensive unit for another chance to take the lead. Return here for Bolt, only out to the 41-yard line. Visit the SFL League website at simulationfl.net for info on how you can create a player, join our community, the league, and the teams that play in it. You can also see a comprehensive history of our league, our over 1,500 games, and thousands of players who've hit the virtual field. The Simulation Football League, 17 seasons strong. 6 weeks in here as we take on Baltimore and DC. Flip outside is incomplete. Wigmore could not fit that one into the tight end Mitchell.
Yeah, and it looked like Mitchell kind of bobbled the pass more than anything else, so that's an unfortunate drop for him. Starting off this drive, Baltimore, not what they wanted to do here, but there's still plenty of time in this second quarter, so they can still make some noise, and they're still in decent field position to start off.
90 yards so far for Wigmore, 11 of 17 today. 2 tight ends back out on the field. Here's Wigmore to throw again. Fires on a tip, and that's incomplete. Little bit of a floater, and Afolabi said, "I'll take all of that."
Yeah, a very nice spinning 360 jump from Afolabi there, showing off his dunk competition skills there. But you have to remember, this is football, not basketball. He still gets the deflection though, and now it's a 3rd and 10 for Baltimore that offense has kind of stalled in this drive so far.
Trying to get it going again here. They have to move the chains here across the 50. Wigmore, deep drop, deep toss to the top side of the field. Oh my, incomplete.
Very big opportunity for Ivory Irvin to get himself going in a big way here. He's already got 53 yards, but we've seen the capabilities of Ivory Irvin of getting 200 plus yards in a game. Big deflection and going out of bounds, and this is a huge stop for DC to prevent any yardage and any momentum going Baltimore's way.
These defenses and offenses clashing at the highest level. Baltimore gets the punt away, and DC will see if they can get a little bit of a return. They will get a little bit out to the 27, no more than that.
And if I were the DC offense, I would start looking to pass a little bit more here. And that's only because Kevin Say is not really having a good first half. Maybe get him involved a little bit here, maybe a 1st down run play opportunity. But you've got Jeff Banfield, and I would like to see Mike Churchill get a little bit involved here as well, because he's a deadly receiver when he can get the passes as well.
Single back, offset to the right, 4 down linemen for Baltimore. They do give Say. Say dances in the hole, picks up 8, his best run of the day.
It's easily his best run of the day, and Say getting himself a good gap of space from his offensive line to get him basically to go gut right down the middle. A little bit of a juke move to get an extra yard, so 8 yards, a very good run play from Say.
Sets them up and moves them to the 35 here. DC trying to regain the lead that they once held. Give Say again. Say with room.
Oh, watch
Kevin,
out.
Say it ain't so! Across the 30, down to the 10, the 5. A touchdown for the Dragons to ignite the lead as they breathe fire all over this Baltimore defense.
Hey, what do you say? Kevin Say proving the doubters wrong, the doubters being me, because I said to go deep with the pass, and instead he decides to go down the middle, use his legs to run all the way downfield, get himself a nice 65, 67, 68-yard touchdown. And this is what DC wants to do. They want to keep scoring. They want to get the lead and have that lead as much as possible because Baltimore is so deadly offensively. And so far, so good. DC now has the lead.
For a running back who was held in check up until that point, for Say to make that play in that moment has got to be big for these DC Dragons, as they now have the run and the passing game working on both levels. And Say nearing 90 yards rushing, hovering right around the 80-yard mark. A huge run to ignite this game. It really switches the momentum, Brett.
Yeah, you want to talk about a punch in the gut for Baltimore. They got no yards on their last drive, and then DC comes in, 8 yards the first one, and then the second one they get themselves a nice 60-plus yard touchdown from Kevin Say. That's a huge punch in the gut, if I have to say.
3:26 to go in the second. Baltimore time to work with, along with 3 timeouts, but they now find themselves down by 7. Return here from Giovanni Bolt will only make it out to the 24, and Wigmore will come back out. Under 60% completion percentage today, Brett, for Wigmore.
Yeah, and it's kind of what we were looking to key on a little bit in this game as we were talking in pregame. That if DC is going to have a good defensive game, they're going to have to limit Jack Wigmore's passing. And so far, 11 of 19, 58% completion percentage is not what you want.
Give T-Roy Gaines up the middle. He rips off 8 himself. And now if T-Roy Gaines rips one off up the middle, Brett, we'll know that something's going on.
Yeah, this is I almost want to say that they're wanting to go tit for tat on this one here. This time T-Roy Gaines gets himself a nice gut punch down the middle for 8 yards here. Let's see if T-Roy or maybe even Jimmy Hazard can get himself a 68-yard touchdown here.
I would give Hazard the benefit of the doubt if he goes up the middle. We'll let it slide. Instead, they'll throw. Wigmore going to take a deep shot down the right side. He's got a 68-yard touchdown to Chima through the air, and Baltimore answers right off the bat.
Anything you can do, I can do better. Anything you can do, I can do good. And that's exactly what Baltimore does there, with this time going with the tried and true passing game. We knew that Jack Wigmore was struggling a little bit in the pass game, and he decides, you know what, I'm going to prove my doubters wrong, being me again. And Mac Chima gets himself a great deal of space, and Baltimore gets themselves tied immediately after DC's 2-play drive.
2 touchdowns in 4 plays for these two teams as we swing back and forth in the nation's capital. 17-16 with Shark Tarkington here to add the extra point to tie us back up with 2:41 to go in the second. Kick up and on the way. And Brett, if we see an 8-yard run to start this next drive, we might have to hold our breath.
Yo, this is going to be like a whole Groundhog Day situation here. It's just going to be 8, then 65, then 8, then 65, then 8, then 65. Unbelievable. It's just one of those things. And I do have to preface saying if anybody is a fan of the Annie musical, I apologize for butchering the song.
That's all right. That's all right. That is what we're here for, is to make memories and enjoy quite the battle between Baltimore and DC. They are certainly battling, and we certainly are making memories. Spin from Rockefeller out to the 25, and that is where DC will come back out. Kevin Say, barely enough time, Brett, to catch his breath on the sideline.
Just think about it here. 8 yards will get him to the 33. That means another 67-yard opportunity here. Let's see what happens. Let's inch a little bit closer. Get that golf commentary going here.
Yeah, if you are not a fan of the SFL, you might be. If that happens a third time, you should be after it happened twice in a row. Here is the first play from scrimmage. Here is the throw. No, not going to get the throw off. Synergy buried for a sack. Coming right up the middle was Nate Brown. He made the play.
Now let's see if there's going to be a reverse of what happened here. We saw a 3-yard loss on the or 3 or 4 yard loss on the sack here. Now are we going to see a 20-yard sack coming up for the safety and having a little bit of a reverse of what happened the last 2 drives here?
Somehow I doubt it. Split batch, 3 receivers wide, 3-3 look here out of Baltimore's defense. Synergy changing the play at the line will take a short drop. Synergy fires across the middle, in and out of the hands of the receivers. For all that Jeff Banfield has done today, he could not haul that one in one-on-one with Bolt.
Yeah, and Giovanni Bolt, we have to remember, is one of the best safeties in the SFL. So he can get beat a couple times here, but most of the time he's going to get his man covered, and that's exactly what happened here. He's stopping Jeff Banfield on his tracks, setting up a 3rd and 15 for DC.
Single back offset to the right, trips look. Short drop here from Synergy. Floats across the top, caught, fighting for the line. Oh, they're going to mark him just an inch short. And that will be the 2-minute warning. We might have to come back and look at it, but before that, we will take a short break. You are watching the SFL Sunday Spotlight presented by APM Music on For the Fans. Back here in DC, under 2 minutes to play here between the DC Dragons and Baltimore Vultures before the halftime break, as we have swung back and forth, and DC, instead of challenging, is going to go ahead and punt this one back to Baltimore. The Vultures a chance to take the lead right before the halftime break. Return here for Bolt, out to the 31. Ever a dangerous player, Brett.
Yeah, Giovanni Bolt, both on the returns and defensively. Bolt has been a huge part of Baltimore's success. One of the big reasons why Baltimore is 5-0 to start off the season here. And now Baltimore, they're going to play their 2-minute drill offense here, see if they can get some points and take the lead before the half ends.
3 receivers, bottom of the screen. Single back is Jimmy Hazard. 3-3 look here out of the defense. Short drop from Wigmore. Fires across the middle. Incomplete. What a spectacular play from Afalabi, showing a little bit of range at the linebacker spot.
Yeah, we're seeing a lot of diving and jumping deflections here from Afalabi. He's doing the best that he can to stop Baltimore's offense here, and still trying to stifle the production of Jack Wigmore, who's now 12 of 21, which isn't too awful, but it's a little bit unorthodox for him.
It's not great, Brett. I'm not going to lie to you. 3 receivers wide. Plenty of time to make up for it. He's going to try and do so now. It does! Irvin across the middle to the 43. A big shot.
And that's what you're looking for from Ivory Irvin. He's going to get himself open plenty of times. It looks like Kanye Rockefeller was about a step behind on Irvin so that Irvin can get the catch there. And now crossing midfield, Baltimore's doing what they want right now.
Two backs in the backfield. Wigmore looking to sling it. Fires outside to the backup tight end, and it's incomplete out of his hands. Mitchell, second drop of the day. Someone get that man some gloves.
Get this man some gloves or just keep him on the bench. That's the second time, and he's had 2 targets and he's dropped the ball twice on this one here. I know that the Baltimore coaching staff must be yelling in his ear if he's on the sidelines right now for dropping his second attempt.
We'll send 3 receivers out. Single tight end on the field is Graham Jr. Single back here is Hazard. Wigmore under center here. Will take a 5-step drop. Wigmore fires underneath. Caught. Irvin will be short of the sticks at the 39 for 3rd and 6.
Yeah, and looks like Baltimore wants to have as much clock as possible as now that they're in enemy territory. And once again, stopping the Baltimore receivers from getting a deep pass. So Wigmore had to resort to a short little look to Ivory Irvin there, which has been open for most of the game. We've seen it a couple times, those close cross catches for Irvin.
4 receivers wide, single back here. And here is the deep shot. Wide open again is Irvin. Down to the 14, another strike. Same play, same result.
Yeah, and John DeSantis got beat once again on Ivory Irvin, it looks like, and he got himself wide open, Irvin. And you talk about Banfield getting himself over 100 yards. You have to think that Irvin is getting close to 120 at this point from this drive alone.
Split backs in the backfield, 3 wide, short drop for Wigmore. Fires outside. That's the first catch for Daly Holder.
And they're going to look to hurry it up here as the clock keeps ticking down. It looks to be another pass.
Wigmore looks across the middle, caught, and in for the touchdown. They're going to mark him with forward progression. It's a score for Baltimore to take the lead. It's Mac Chima.
And Mac Chima with number 2 in this game here. It looked like he was already in the end zone after that catch, getting through. As you can see, he had 1 foot in the end zone, and then he just pushed himself through just to get that ball to the line. And Baltimore, this is what they want. They want to score before the end of the half. They want to have the lead before the end of the half here. We're going to have to see what DC does with 27 seconds, though. Anything is possible after we've seen the last couple drives.
Yeah, certainly a score for Baltimore. Not worth the replay review here from Ref 62. They will send down Shark Tarkington to try and add the extra point to give them a 24-17 lead. Kick is up and through. Coming up on the 8 p.m. Music Halftime Report, Cameron Irvine and Mike St. Green are going to break down the first half of this game. Baltimore and D.C. sit down with our league's leading sacker, Baltimore's Saron Yates IV, and provide an update on action going on in Oregon between the Knights and the Fleet. It's all coming up on the 8 p.m. Music Halftime Report. You don't want to miss it. Mike St. Green and Cameron Irvine do a wonderful job, and I'm interested to hear from Yates IV. Kick away here, and DC will get a little bit of a return out of it, out to the 20. Kanye Rockefeller spins, still on his feet. Oh my, Rockefeller might have rocked the house if he was able to get out of that one.
And Rockefeller definitely wanted to get to that end zone there. You could see the drive. You could see the desire in his eyes to get away from defenders as he shedded away from 3 tacklers. And even then, he's got himself a good highlight reel performance just from that alone there. And now DC has a lot of yardage to work with 22 seconds.
They do get the ball to start the second half.
Jump.
Offsides will be a free play. Here's Synergy underneath. That is caught, and that'll be down for about 7 or 8, so they might decline this penalty.
Yeah, I'm not too sure what's going to happen here. I would like to think they will accept the penalty, not accept the penalty because they got more yardage than they got.
Yes.
I can't say words all of a sudden because this game has been too great to watch. So
yeah, and I mean, no disrespect to Mark and Justin. Sometimes with a game like this, you throw the stats out the window. You don't need the numbers with the momentum and the energy in a battle like this between these two teams. Justin Reside coined it the Beltway dogfight, and I think that fits very well as these two teams go toe-to-toe. Now, we do appreciate having the stats. Me not being a math or a numbers guy, I sometimes tend to focus on big plays versus big plays, and so far both teams have their fair share of them. Say, pop from behind. Ooh, little bit slow to get up. He does rise to his feet. Oh, and we all held our collective breath for a moment there, Brett.
Yeah, and Say's had a very good first half, and looks like they're just going to shed the clock out to end the half.
Halftime is upon us, 24-17. Vultures on top of the Dragons. When we return, it's the halftime break with Cameron Irvine and Mike St. Green. Don't go anywhere. It's the SFL presented by APM Music.
There we go. Welcome to the APM Music Halftime Report along with Mike St. Green. I'm Cameron Irvine. What a game we have going on in D.C. as Baltimore has a 24-17 lead, but D.C. is pushing them to the brink with their offense, actually. No one can still stop Baltimore, but at least D.C. is making it a game.
Yeah, Cam, I don't know what it is about you don't know this matchup. The last game of last season, DC took these guys to the brink, and Baltimore needed a late last-second touchdown to win that game. And here they are giving them everything that they can handle so far today.
And right now we've got an update from Portland and London. Portland scored a touchdown, 14-10 up on London. We knew that was going to be a pretty good game. They got 2:53 to go in the first half.
Yeah, this has been a really tight matchup here to start out this game. Ezekiel Love is doing Ezekiel Love type things. He has over 60 yards, averaging over 6 yards a carry in this game. But London's hanging tough. If not for a Johnny Pickler interception, London would probably be up in this game right now.
London is on the move. Well, earlier this week, Mike, we had a lot of fun, man. It's nice meeting people all around the SFL, and we got a chance to talk to Sir Ron Yates, who leads the league in sacks and is a part of that Baltimore defense. And he was a fun time, and let's see what he had to say. Today, we have with us an esteemed guest. He leads the league in sacks, and it's not even close. It's Sir Ron Yates, the fourth of the Baltimore Vultures, a one-time champion in the SFL. How you doing, Sir Ron?
I'm doing great, sir. How are you doing?
Outstanding.
Hey, Sir Ron, man, glad you could join us today, man. Hey, the chef, that's what I see on your name tag on Discord. And I know you love to cook a little bit. I've seen some of your dishes, and as a fellow cook and chef myself, I get excited when I hear about chefs and other cooks, man, and things that they do. How did that come about, and where did your love of food come from?
I have 22 grandkids.
Wow.
I have 5 kids. I cook for them, so I experiment a lot. With experimentation, I get to just I have good taste buds, and I look at everybody else's food, and I can mimic foods and do my spin on foods. So when I got with Baltimore and we sit down, we always show each other food. So I start showing them food, and they're like, "What is you, a chef?" I'm like, "I can be, serve them on the field, serve them outside the field." So, they gave me a nickname just like I give everybody on the team a nickname.
Cool.
What are some of the nicknames you passed along out there?
Okay, we got and I knew you was gonna say this, so I had my list ready for this. You gotta have it. I didn't make up mac and cheese, but we kept mac and cheese. That's Mac Chima.
Right.
Daily holder is hold that, because when he catch it, he's gonna hold that. You know what I mean? We got Frank the Tank Smith. We got Alvin Mac Attack. We got Nate Brown and Serve. We got, of course, we got Shark. I didn't even give him his name. He was already Shark targeted, Sometimes I call him Jaws, because
Probably the only kicker in history named with the nickname Jaws.
Hey, man, hey. You remember the movie growing up, when Jaws grab you, it's going down. So every time he kick, we know it's going down. You know what I mean? That's what we do. Jack, I call him Wiggy Dimes. I mean, it speaks for itself. He's a laser. We got T-Roy. I call him T-Roy Trains instead of Gaines, because the way he ran people over. Bone Crusher, Tucker Lewis, that's Bone Crusher. That's just what he do. That's Boat, we call Boat Lightning. I mean, it speaks for itself. There's a couple of guys, like Marvin, he doesn't have a name. We have he gonna kill me. Jimmy Hazard, we call him the Duke. I mean, the Duke of Hazard. That's why you see me on the thing, I'll be like, Duke. So that that's our Duke. LGJ, that's Lloyd Graham Jr. And I love these guys like they my brothers. I mean, and I gotta say, like rookie Samuel and Hal and Hazard, they're my brothers. We all pulled together. And Austin Brigham, I already said Ivory. You already know that's that's Willie Clutch. Won't he do it? Yes, he will. That's my brother. and I have to say everybody's name because that's my team. I mean, I love the guys. Even though, like I said, we ain't met, we brothers, and that's how when we win, we brothers. When it's down, we brothers. If somebody get out of line, we brothers, we pull each other up. I mean, we winning right now, but we always expect, it could go 50-50 in the SFL. So that's how we do it. The same way we do when we win, it's the same way we act when we lose.
Yes, sir. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I put on my pom-poms every game. I'm all through our game. I'm on the pom-poms. If I had a skirt and hairy legs, I wouldn't care.
But yes, sir, Rod, man, that's very, sounds like a very close bunch over there. And, you guys have been together, most of you, several seasons. I know you've been there for 4, several guys been there 6, 7 seasons. So, people get to Baltimore and never leave. But, and it sounds like it's a great locker room. But I do want to talk to you about some individual accomplishments. As Cam mentioned, right now, 11 sacks. You're leading the league in sacks. And a lot of people typically look to the sack leader as possibly, a defensive player of the year type guy, typically. But, man, you have someone else on your team, one of your close teammates, Giovanni Bolt, has 9 interceptions. And you could possibly right now be competing with him, for that defensive player of the year honor. Would that be something you would want? I think I know the answer to this. Would that be something you'd want individually? If it just came down to it, and you and Giovanni, kept on the same pace, would you be cool with sharing that honor with him?
Absolutely. One thing I tell Boat all the time is you tag him, I'll bag him. You know what I mean? Or you bag him, I tag him. I say it all the time. If my guy can get pressure on the quarterback, he's going to throw the ball. And I know Boat is back there. I mean, stacking paper is back there also. You know what I mean? So the more pressure you get on the quarterback, he's liable to throw the ball any kind of way. You know what I mean? If you run, and my guy is mainly a nice rusher, he can hold his own. But if you run, You know what I mean? Our linebackers are crazy. You know what I mean? I remember one time Mac got so many tackles in one game. You know what I mean? I remember when Al got so many sacks in a game. So we don't have a problem with that. And I've said that to my guys. I said, I don't accept individual awards. This is everybody's award. You know, if I get it, cool. If I don't, cool. I don't care. I just like the game. You know, that's how we stay together. No one has a big giant ego. You know, so what's his name had 200. Who was that? Willie Clutch had 269 yards or something stupid with 18.
Yeah, got a game ball. Yeah,
I was celebrating him more than I was celebrating me getting 4.5 sacks.
Right.
You know, I don't want the team to score nothing. I don't even want them to get a first down. You know, I want to annihilate them. But I want our offense, our committee, and I know you know about the committee in the wake. The committee, I want them to score. You know what I mean? My wake, wall up, and we do what we do. Win or lose. We give it our all every game.
So, where'd you get the name from? And also, too, just quickly in 30 seconds, tell me what it's been like watching your player, because you've only played 5 games this season and you already have a career high in sacks. So what's that been like, and where'd you get the name from?
I got the name from the wake. I read what is a group of vultures, a family of vultures.
Your name, your Sir Ron Yates the Fourth, your player's name. Where'd you get that?
Oh,
from?
I'm sorry,
Yeah.
Sir Ron Yates. It's a play on my grandson's name is Sir Ron. My name is Ron. My dad's name is Ron, and my son's name is Ron. So Sir Ron is 4 of us. Yates, Yates the Fourth. So my players out there is representing my dad who passed away, my grandson who is our newest addition, my son who has my name and my name. So that's his name, Sir Ron Yates the Fourth.
Awesome stuff. And watching your player out there getting a career high in 5 games, what's that been like?
That's great. I knew he had it in him. It's and it's going to get worse because he's not even at his fullest potential yet. And if offenses go ahead and slide towards me, that's okay, because I got a whole lot of brothers with me that want that extra. Double team him if you want to. So now you're going to have to play everybody, not just me. And that's how we stay together in Baltimore.
Well, we enjoy meeting people from all over this league, and it was really great chatting with you, Sir Ron, today. And good luck the rest of the season, because y'all got a dang good squad out there.
All right, thank you. Hey, y'all stay safe out there, man, and thank you for having me in the SFL. We're going to do as much as we can to make you proud, make this banner proud.
Yes,
all right, thanks, Sir Ron.
All right, thank you, Mike.
Right before the half, as we finish up our conversation with Sir Ron Yates, a familiar player got a touchdown for London. They now have a 3-point lead.
Yeah, Cam, MSG with a touchdown catch right before the half and put London up by 3 points. So, yeah, London's looking pretty decent right now.
And as I watch with just making sure Mike St. Green's not catching some Hail Mary right before the half. But it was great to talk with Sir Ron. That was a lot of fun. A lot of great people in this league.
Yeah, man, that was a great time with him that we had the other day. And, it's always good to, hear about these different guys' backgrounds. That's like one of my favorite parts of our show every weekend. And, yeah, it was a pleasure meeting Sir Ron. And we had an interview earlier with Ross Napoli. So, yeah, 2 great guys we had a chance to meet this week.
And that London game has now gone to the half, 17-14. They lead over Portland. That's a good game. Hopefully we can get to some bonus coverage there. This has been the APM Music Halftime Report presented by APM Music here on For the Fans. 24-17, Baltimore leads DC. We'll be back after this.
Back here in Washington, D.C., 17-24, Baltimore on top of the Dragons. Andy Hamilton along with Brett Solberg, Justin Reside, and Mark Lopez running the stats truck for us. And third quarter action is underway as D.C. will receive the opening kick. Kanye Rockefeller going the wrong way to start the return. Spins twice. Rockefeller manages to fight his way out to the 22 somehow, Brett.
That's an interesting kick return catch that I've seen in a long time there. I wonder if Chris Curtis can do that for us tomorrow. But nonetheless, Rockefeller did a good job to get himself a couple spin moves to get himself in an okay field position to start off for Synergy and company.
He will set them up here at the 22. Nickel look here out of Baltimore. Give Kevin Say. Say off the right side with room. Kevin Say, first down and more, down to the 39.
A very nice stretch run on the right side for Kevin Say. His blockers did a great job to give him plenty of field space. And once he got down to the sideline, he crossed the first down line and he basically tried to run for as many yards as he can and gets them a quick first down for DC, which is what they want to start off because they're only down a touchdown to start off this second half.
We'll set them up here, and the Dragons trying to answer and tie this game up at 24. They found themselves down by just 7 at the break. Here is Synergy going to throw. That one laced over the top, and it's caught. First down to the 46-yard line.
That's our first look at Rupert Westcloud here. A very nice threading the needle pass from Shabazz Synergy down the middle, finding his tight end. Hashtag throw it to the tight end. And Rupert Westcloud with a nice catch gets rocked on his way down, but still nonetheless another first down for DC.
We'll set them up here at the 46 as we tick under 10 minutes. Dragons opening drive of this half, and they float across the middle for more first down yardage. They continue the drive again.
And once again, it's Rupert Westcloud going with, excuse me, a little bit of a straight to post route going down to the left side of the middle, getting himself a very nice catch, dragging his feet to the past the first down line, and DC's moving here, Dandy.
They are moving. They need to keep moving. They have a new set of downs here at the 35-yard line. 3-2 look out of Baltimore, and they will smack Say in the backfield. Huge play by Walker.
Big Al Walker says hello once again to Kevin Say, stopping him in his tracks. And again, it's that stretch play on the left side that's just not working out for DC, because it's happened twice now where Walker has basically met Say right as he got the football on the carry.
Second and long here. They will flip it out to Say with plenty of room. Kevin Say showing the speed, has first down yardage down to the 23. That is almost, Brett, where he's been the most effective.
Yeah, you take away that one big 65-yard touchdown that he had in the second quarter, and he's been pretty mediocre to, I would almost say, ineffective in his run game. But the passing plays on those flat routes have been really working out for him so far. He's got 5 receptions for 34 yards so far in this game here.
And he will set them up at the 23. Within striking distance here are the Dragons looking to get back in this one. Here's the give, Say right side. Why not feed him? Kevin Say spins, picks up 9.
It's a little bit of an ineffective spin there, heading down the middle there. If he could have stretched it out to the sideline a little bit, I think he would have gotten a 12, 13, 14-yard gain there. But he decides to go spin move down to the middle side, and it just didn't work out for him. Nonetheless, 9 yards is an impressive run.
Second and a yard from the 14. Give right side, Say first down, and a little bit more than that down to the 11, right on the edge of first and goal.
Yeah, and that's what DC wants to start off this second half, is to have a very productive drive. And so far, so good here. They're at the 11, very close to goal range here. They just need to continue moving forward, and they definitely need to get points out of this drive.
Have to have them as they try and knot this one up. Give, Say, right side again. Say through the first tackle and then hit right at the 6-yard line.
Yeah, it's a big hit from Ben Stackenpaper there to stop Say in his tracks, but nonetheless, Say gets another 5 yards out of this. He's having a good second half. This drive has been really beneficial to Kevin Say and his numbers so far, and especially for the DC offense.
Receivers top of the screen. They give Say right up the gut. Kevin Say into the mess, and he will only get a yard. It'll be 3rd and 4. Brett, they can pick up the first down without getting into the end zone, but this seems like a big play.
Yeah, nonetheless, this is going to be a big play. They basically have to get to the 1 yard line to get that first down. But if I were DC, I would go for pay dirt as quickly as possible here. You've got a ton of options in a 3rd and medium situation, but with so close to the end zone, it still limits your options for deep passes.
3 receivers wide for the Dragons. Synergy, 3-step drop, looks to throw, fires on the out route, caught. That is okay, hold on. How is it a 4th down, not a touchdown, but not a first down either, Brett? I don't know if I believe any of this.
I got 3 words. Throw the challenge. That's all I want to say.
He's either in the end zone, he's got the first down, or it's a drop. There's no chance. They do have the offense out on 4th and 1 from the 1. 6 minutes to go in the 3rd. They're trying to get Baltimore to jump off sides. If I'm them, I snap it anyways. Say is the deep back. They do have Chris Britton right in front of him. Synergy down to 3 and will take a timeout.
I don't know if I'm DC, I would be a little bit ticked off at the refereeing for the placement of that ball, because absolutely Jeff Banfield was he for sure had the first down, if not a touchdown. Let's if I can be critical on the refereeing, that's horrible placement of the football.
Yeah, and I'm sure DC fans and fans at home are not thrilled about all of that, and they will have to figure out exactly how to recover from a moment like that and something that could potentially turn the momentum. Instead, they will send Pati on to add a field goal from short range, kick up and good, now 24-20, and we will send it to SFL Studios for a game break between London and Portland. Cam, Mike, take it away.
Thanks, Andy. In the words of Eddie Gage, Mike, how do you defend this?
Yes, Cam, following an amazing Derek Majors interception, Ezekiel Love follows it up with an amazing touchdown run, 33 yards on Portland's first possession of the second half, and Portland takes the lead 21-17.
They're firing the cannons at the shipyard, Fleet by 4. Back to Andy and Brett in the nation's capital.
Back here in D.C., 1st and 10 for Baltimore. They take it to the 30. Giovanni Bolt with the return, and their defense gets wasn't really a goal line stand, but kind of was, Brett, considering that they stopped them at the 1, and that was enough to force the D.C. field goal, and now offense takes over, 4-point cushion out in front of them. They'll start with a T-Roy Gaines run right up the middle for 7.
Yeah, and if you're DC here, you have to channel that energy and not make it a negative disruption, both on your offense and defensive side. You didn't get what you want from the referee placement, but now it's kind of past and over with. You have to continue with these defensive stops. You have to stifle Jack Wigmore. You have to stifle the running game as much as possible and use that kind of frustration energy and pour it on to Baltimore and make their life a living HE double hockey sticks.
2 in the backfield, single receiver out to this near side. Wigmore will face 2nd and 3. He gives to Hazard. Hazard spins, but has the first down to the 42 before Kanye Rockefeller wraps him up.
Back-to-back runs from 2 of their running backs there. T-Roy with a nice 8-yard gain to start off the drive, and then Jimmy Hazard kind of caps it off there with a nice first down run. And Baltimore getting that early first down definitely will set the momentum forward for them.
Rookie running back Hazard, drafted by their general manager T-Roy Gaines, so the fullback drafts the halfback, and he was really excited to pass the torch, as they say. Flip underneath here for Wigmore, and that is good down to the 45. I was thinking this in the first half. Brett, Baltimore, really kind of the Green Bay Packers of the SFL. They had Dazzo all of those seasons. He retires, brings on Jack Wigmore. They have a top receiver in Ivory Irvin that is very Devontae Adams-like, and this team is rolling at 5-0 this season. 5-0.
Yeah, and they've done a good job with just recruiting the right players as well. The Jack Wigmore, I've seen in the Discord chat a few times. He's definitely a class act of a player, nonetheless. So Baltimore has done a good job with just recruiting all the right players to make this fantastic team.
Rewind here, Wigmore to throw again, dumps it out to Hazard out of the backfield. Hazard spins twice and picks up 8.
That's a big boy spin right there. With that spin move happening for Hazard, he gets hit, but he still spins around and sheds that tackle to gain about another 6 inches to get an 8-yard gain on that one, setting up a 2nd and short, which my favorite 2 words in the world, open playbook.
Really do anything here, take a deep shot, run it. They have both Gaines and Hazard. They'll give Hazard, who rips one off right up the middle and is out to the DC 26.
And I think the big thing here on this drive here is that they're relying on their running backs a lot. I was talking about this in the half. Their splits for the first half between pass and run is 27-7, and this time they've probably had more run plays than they've had all in the first half just from this drive alone.
1st and 10 at the 26-yard line. Single back is Hazard. 4 down linemen here for DC. They are going to throw it. They will fire on the out route. It is caught. That is Daly Holder. Steps out of bounds after picking up 6. And for the Dragons, I think they're trying, Brett. You know, a field goal would be the best case scenario from here.
Yeah, right now Baltimore's offense is just clicking, and they're finding their open receivers, and the running backs are doing a great job on this drive here. What DC needs to do here is that they need to stop before they get to the end zone, essentially, and they don't want to blow this game wide open.
Looking to throw. Wigmore out route there to Holder, caught and has the first down to the 15.
Yeah, now Wigmore's cooking a little bit here. We looked at his completion percentages all through the first half here, but now as we get this drive going, he's got his completion percentage close to 70%, and we also have to take in the fact that he's got over 270 yards passing already, 3 touchdowns, and no interceptions. So it's still been a great game for him.
Clock has been continuously rolling here in this third quarter, now under 3 minutes to go in the third frame of play. Split backs, 2 receivers wide here. Wigmore looking to throw it again, fires. Irvin interfered with undoubtedly.
Yeah, it's a clear pass interference call. And it's a very unfortunate one because the defender wasn't even looking at the receiver more than anything. He was too focused on the ball, kind of bumps into Irvin there, and sets up basically a 1st and goal situation for Baltimore.
And it's a tough ask. Let's be very fair here to Riley Hughes. Very tough ask to ask a linebacker to cover one of the best receivers in the league.
That's absolutely true. You don't see too many linebackers going kind of tit for tat, especially for speed, because linebackers have to mix that speed with power as well. So it's a very tough task, and it's just unfortunate he was more ball focused than man focused.
3 receivers spread out, split backs here from the 7 on 1st and goal. Fires outside, deflected. Oh, and it's lucky for Baltimore that David Leathers only used 1 hand. If he would have had 2, he might be taking it the distance.
That would have been a 90-plus yard pick 6 there if he decided to go with 2 hands, but Leathers going with a little bit of a conservative go on that attempt, preventing Daly Holder from getting another catch, which he's had quite a few catches in this third quarter, I should say. Been a little bit of a momentum starter for Baltimore, so a decent deflection from David Leathers here.
And we said the field goal might be best case for DC. Pick 6 obviously would be a little bit better than that, but the Dragons trying to count their blessings here and remain humble. Single back in the backfield is Hazard. Wigmore on a 4-step drop, stands in the pocket, floats backside, tipped up. Oh, bobbled twice! And I apologize to Baltimore. We almost gave him the curse, Brett.
Yeah, that's exactly it. We saw Kenobi, and we saw another guy there with a little bit of a bobble, and we talked about getting that pick six, and it almost happened again on this one, almost happening. And now Baltimore has a third down. This is huge for Baltimore. They want to score here to get to blow the game open.
Shotgun snap here to Wigmore. Pressure in his face. Fires across the middle. Deflected, incomplete. DC is there to make the play. Jack Russell has made tons of plays, and O'Brien bringing the heat. That is really the tail of the tape for DC's defense today.
Yeah, they've been wanting to apply pressure to Wigmore, and that's exactly what happened on this set of downs. We saw Wigmore kind of just getting that momentum back. He was starting to get his completion percentage up, but 3 key deflections, I would say 3 key almost interceptions from the DC defenders to halt Baltimore's progression on this drive and forcing a field goal out of them.
Shark Tarkington, 7th season in the league, all of them here in Baltimore. That kick is up and good. Now 27-20. DC manages to hold the Vultures to just 3.
Yeah, and it's a huge job from the DC defense from doing that, especially with how that drive started for Baltimore. They were seeing everything going right for them, and they basically halted them to nothing once they got to the red zone. So DC, this is an opportunity to respond in a big way.
Kick is away. Dragons will get the football back. Rockefeller, no spin move this time, brings it out across the 20, down to the 24-yard line. Visit the SFL website at simulationfl.net, where you can get links to apparel from Sector 6, our official apparel provider of the Simulation Football League, and SFL mini helmets from 97 Sports Promotions. Sector 6 has replica team jerseys and customized jackets, flags, t-shirts, and more. Get the gear the fans wear with Sector 6, 97 Sports Promotions, and the Simulation Football League. Give Say left side to start this drive, picks up 5.
Yeah, it's a big power run from Kevin Say there. He basically got tackled after 2 yards and then just pushes away for another 3 yards to set up a 2nd and 5 for DC. DC is going to want to make some noise on this drive here to kind of shake and stifle Baltimore's defense here.
2 receivers, top of the screen. 4-3 look here out of Baltimore's defense. They will throw. This one an out route caught. Banfield, first down to the 34.
And Banfield's having a good game here, continuing to get those open catches, this time on the out route to the left sideline. Drags his feet in bounds, stays in bounds, gets the first down for DC, and first downs are what you want when you're behind, so it's a good start by DC's drive here.
To keep the ball moving if you're the Dragons. 16 of 20 is Synergy today, 80% completion percentage. He'll feed Kevin Say off the left side with blockers. Say spins back inside, only gets 5. That was the 20th carry today for Kevin.
Yeah, and another stretch run to the left side. This time, the offensive line decides to drag the defensive players down with them as they were kind of getting smothered by the defensive line company of Baltimore. And giving Say enough space to get another 5 yards out of this.
3-3 look here for Baltimore's defense. 2nd and 5. Synergy moves up in the pocket but gets buried. Ciron Yates the 4th is cooking in the backfield.
Give him number 12 on the season for Ciron Yates the 4th. We saw him in the halftime show there, talking with Cam and Mike there. About the success of Baltimore and how he doesn't like to take the credit here, but a great sack.
7 toss is in and out of the hands of the receiver. The throw was beautiful. Churchill could not hang on while taking a pop.
Yeah, and that was, again, one of those try to thread the needle passes for Shabazz Synergy, this time not getting through. You saw Troy Loshaw with the hit there, but Ben Stackenpaper did a good job staying with Mike Churchill in the process as well. A tough pass to try to complete, and it just didn't happen for them, and now DC has to punt the ball away.
Dragons will have to send it back to Baltimore, and if you're a Vultures fan, you just have to imagine that this would be the time for your team to really extend this lead, push yourselves out in front of the Dragons, and give yourself some breathing room here in a tight game. Punt is away. Giovanni Bolt awaits the return. He will stand there at about the 20. Returns here, bouncing outside to the 33-yard line. Coverage of the Simulation Football League 17th season on Next Level Sports continues 4:30 Eastern on next Saturday with the I-35 clash between the Fort Worth Toros and Lone Star Glory. Bonus coverage has the Arizona Scorpions traveling to visit the Pacific leading Los Angeles Lycans. It all comes your way next Saturday on Next Level Sports. You don't want to miss a second of the SFL, 17 seasons strong. Give up the middle to T-Roy Gaines. He has 3 yards. They've been using him sparingly, but 4 yards a carry, Brett, that's pretty good.
Yeah, especially from your fullback here. We don't see a lot of 4 plus yards of carrying from your fullback there. I'd say the only other guy that I could think of off the top of my head that would do that would be maybe Ray Bentley. So they're doing a good job by utilizing both the running back and fullback, especially in this third quarter.
3 down linemen here for DC. This will be the last play of the third. Wigmore moves in the pocket and he's dropped. DC with a huge sack. I didn't get a good look at who it was coming off the line, and that was a big play to end the third. 27-20. This one is all going to come down to the fourth. You're watching the Simulation Football League presented by APM Music. We'll be right back. Back here in D.C., fourth quarter awaits us, 11 minutes on the clock and a shootout on our hands. Baltimore trying to make it less of one. Here is Wigmore, going to take a deep shot to open this up and almost threw it away. Rockefeller was there, and you don't want to test the veteran too many times.
And we saw the post route on the left side to Ivory Irvin a couple times here throughout the game, and he's been open this time. Kanye Rockefeller, right place, right time to deflect the ball away. Just an unfortunate drop of interception there, forcing Baltimore to punt, and this is a big, big thing for DC.
The Vultures going to send it away, and DC going to get their opportunity to tie this thing up. Hunter is on. Rockefeller will await it. Almost had a pick. Would be nice to get a good return. He will call for the fair catch. 36. Good, still good starting field position for them. Let's send it to a game break between London and Portland. Cam and Mike in the studios. Take it away.
Thanks, Andy. Mike, you may not be full of yourself, but you are full of touchdowns today.
Well, Cam, you know how much I really don't like talking about my accomplishments on the field. Yeah, right. MSG with another long touchdown catch. London goes ahead 27-24 in the third.
It's a 3-point game, and I got my vomit bucket right here next to me. Back to you, Andy.
Back here in DC, that floater to start this drive, no good. Frank Smith in there to deflect it, and DC will set up for 2nd and 10.
Yeah, it's a very risky pass to throw there, especially when you're down 7, and Baltimore already having an interception on Shabazz Synergy there. I like the idea, just make sure that it's not as risky next time.
4-3 look here out of Baltimore's defense. 2 backs in the backfield, Say the far back. They will throw out of it. Synergy going to dump it out to Say with plenty of room, trying to fight for the stick. Say is going to be just a yard short.
No, it was very close to getting that first down. He wanted that first down yardage there, especially with a lot of space that he had to run down the field. But the defenders of Baltimore doing a good job stopping him basically just short of the first down. And now it's a 3rd and 1 instead of 1st and 10.
3rd and a yard. Bump man out of Baltimore. Yep. Offsides is a free play. They'll give it to Say, who won't get there. Baltimore schemed it well, but the offsides is a devastating break. And DC's going to... Oh, there's 2 penalties they will offset.
Wow.
And we will replay this 3rd down.
Very interesting. We don't usually see a lot of offsetting penalties, so we're going to see another 3rd and 1 situation here. Run it back, boys. Let's see what happens.
Very interesting, and I'm sure DC fans aren't thrilled to see that, especially considering they couldn't pick up the first down on the last play. 2 in the backfield. Say is the far back, full back in front of him. They'll give it to him again on the power play. Has the first down this time. Say had the blockers and had the room to get to the 48.
Well, they couldn't go right on their last play, but this time they go left and they have enough space. Say stretches it a little bit further down on his off-tackle left side, and this time he gets the first down and gives DC decent, a good field position here, almost at midfield.
Bunch formation, single receiver to the top. Baltimore going to play bump. Chance for someone to get open out of that bunch here on the bottom. Here's Synergy, moves in the pocket, flips out to Say. Say spins off 1 and will pick up 3.
That's not too bad of a run there from Kevin Say after the catch there. Spins past one defender who does a diving attempt for a tackle. Gets stopped right afterwards, but nonetheless, 3 yards is a good gain to start off this set of downs.
2nd and 7. 9 minutes to go here in the 4th as these 2 teams battle. 4-3 look out of Baltimore. Synergy dumps it off. One-handed catch from Say, who manages to gain 2 yards to the 47. Big 3rd and 5 ahead of him.
Almost overthrew Say on that pass there, and Say, thankfully for DC, kind of had to leap and grab that catch, and then afterwards try to juke himself away from 2 defenders, but still gets 2 yards out of it, which isn't too bad. 3rd and medium situation for Synergy. And we're going to have 3 receivers on the bottom, but watch the top guy.
Gun straight here. DC in a 3, or Baltimore in a 3-2. Here is Synergy, and it is overthrown. Could not find the receiver, Josh Gill.
Yeah, it was 2 defenders there ready for Josh Gill, essentially, as that ball was leaving Synergy's hands. So Baltimore's defense, their secondary, doing a good job on this set of downs to kind of halt the movement of DC, forcing him to punt because it's a little bit too far out of field goal range for them. So Baltimore with another chance to get a little bit more separation from DC.
Still going to call upon their defense. Lots of time for the Dragons if they can get defensive stops, and this punt might help. It is going to bounce into the end zone. They cannot keep it out.
It's just kind of slid into the end zone, and as he was diving for it, I think if he could have waited another second or two, it looked like the ball was kind of just going to lay at around the 2, it almost looked like there, but he decides to dive on it to see if he can get it even closer, and a little bit of greediness doesn't pay off. Now Baltimore starts at their 20 instead of deep in their own field.
Wigmore, 60% completion percentage today. 3 touchdowns, has made no mistakes. He's going to look to fire it, and Holder has the catch across the middle to the 34, and that is not the start to the drive that DC's defense would like.
Not exactly, no. They might be too focused on Irvin and Chima, who both have over 115 yards of receiving, that left Daly Holder open on that post route catch. And yeah, it gets them another 12 or 13 yards, and Baltimore is moving down the field fast here.
Split backs, 3 receivers wide on 1st and 10. Wigmore, short drop, will fire underneath, caught 6-yard pickup there. Daly Holder, slow start to the game for Holder, but really come on in these last couple quarters.
Yeah, he only had one reception in the first half, but this time he's getting a lot more involved, especially with Irvin and Shima having big first halves. So they're going to get covered a little bit more. So I expect to see a lot more looks from Daly Holder, and I would like to see a lot more looks from Lloyd Graham Jr. as well.
Tight end making an impact, already has a touchdown today on 2 grabs, just 10 yards for Graham Jr. Here is Wigmore to throw, fires across the middle. Irvin on a crossing route has the first down to the 46.
And once again, it's that crossing route that keeps Ivory Irvin open, gets himself a short catch, and it was a short down situation, so they're going to get the first down out of that. But DC is not really looking to have anything risky happen to them, so they'll take that short gain instead of a long touchdown pass.
Here's Wigmore, 5-step drop, fires underneath. Oh,
Ooh.
Dropped. Ivory Irvin just in and out of his hands, and that's a big play for DC. You don't often see that from Irvin.
Especially not, no, that's a very rare bobble and drop from Ivory Irvin there. That's usually a guaranteed catch. This time, maybe a little bit of butter on his pockets there or something that caused the drop to happen, but nonetheless, that's an incomplete pass, and now a 2nd and 10 for Baltimore.
I don't often keep butter in my pockets, but I guess receivers sometimes must do that, Brett. You'll have to tell me what that's all about. Three down linemen, single back here. Wigmore to throw again. Wigmore underneath, wide open. Irvin caught that one, and he has first down yardage to the 42. That route right there is burning DC alive.
That's exactly it. It's that post route we've seen a couple times here. That's just burning the defenders. It's basically connecting that, or not the post route, cross route. Sorry. This time they were preventing deep big time. Even the linebackers were going back on that play, and that just led Ivory Irvin to have a ton of space on that run after the catch. So another first down for Baltimore.
Single back, 2 tight ends on the field for the Vultures. Wigmore under center, another throw here. He will dump it underneath Irvin again, and that play is about it's basically their run plays right now, Brett. They keep dropping back to throw, but if they hit that for 5-6 yards every time, it keeps the clock moving.
It's going to keep the clock moving. It's going to continue getting them first downs, especially if they're getting 3, 4, 5-yard catches every time it's happening. So why not keep going with it? It's doing wonders on the clock, and it's keeping the ball in their possession.
Offsides, free play here for Wigmore. Fires on the out route. That is caught. First down yardage, and we'll see if they accept the penalty. It'll probably come down to the difference between a yard or 2.
That's basically it. Yeah, it looked like to be a 5-6 yard catch there, and if they want to take the penalty, it'll be entirely up to them on this one.
Yeah, but in terms of time, Brett, usually you would imagine teams in this position up by a score with a good running back like Hazard would try and run the ball. He's averaging 5 yards a clip to get the clock down and see if you can get in range for a field goal to put this thing out of hand. But for Baltimore, they keep dropping back to throw.
Well, this is Baltimore we're talking about, which 80%
Correct.
of their plays is usually passes. So this is very conservative for Baltimore here.
Down the field, float, diving, catch made! Irvin to the highlight reel.
Yeah, give that man a Superman cape. What a catch from Ivory Irvin there. I thought that was going to be an incomplete pass, but Irvin stretched out with his arms. John DeSantis was just very unfortunate. He was inches away from that ball.
Perfect position.
You can't ask for better positioning from DeSantis there. And Irvin just stretches out and grabs the ball. That's just an amazing catch from Irvin.
Ivory showing why he's the man. 12 catches today, up around 160 yards. 3 receivers wide now. Here's Wigmore to throw. He'll fire it out to Hazard. Hazard spins once but can't get through the tackle of DC. Now's really the time, Brett, that they need to buckle down.
It was interesting that Wigmore decided to go with Hazard on this one because he had Ivory Irvin wide open right at the sidelines, basically right at the pylon, so that could have been a possible touchdown for Baltimore, but they decided to go with Hazard instead, and they get no gain out of it.
Tight end flex now. T-Roy Gaines offset to the left with Hazard in the backfield. They'll still throw. Wigmore, floater back of the end zone. No,
nope.
Out of bounds is Irvin. For all the diving attempts he made, he can't keep the feet in on that one.
Yeah, a little bit too lasery of a pass from Jack Wigmore that caused Ivory Irvin to try to twinkle his toes to the far sideline, or not the sideline, the back line, I guess you could say there, and just couldn't keep his feet together inside. So now it's a 3rd and goal. DC, you've got to make a stop here.
3rd and goal from the 5. DC trying to keep it to a 10-point game, not 14. 2 in the backfield. They'll give Hazard off this right side on 3rd and goal. Hazard runs into a mess of Dragons and is not going to get there.
No, a big stop from DC there, seeing that Hazard was going to get the ball on this 3rd down. They decided to go all out on that their left side there, pushing the offensive line back, which caused Hazard to bump into his own lineman. And now Baltimore has to kick for 3 here, giving DC a big opportunity in this upcoming drive that they're going to get.
4th and goal, and Shark Tarkington is on to try and make it a 10-point game. A little bit of a low snap, kick up and on the way, and it is good from 21, now 30-20. DC finds themselves down by 10 with 4 minutes to go and only 2 timeouts.
The big thing for DC is that they need to get a quick drive for 6 here, I think. Even if it's 3, they still got a chance here, but I think their ultimate goal here is to get as quick a drive as possible. Maybe start their 2-minute drill early a little bit here and get themselves 6 quickly.
Kick away from Tarkington. Return here for DC. They need a good one if they want to score twice with 4 minutes to go. Rockefeller out to the 27. Throwing deep, Brett, has not been DC's MO today. Hasn't necessarily been this season either.
No, we usually see kind of like those mid to short routes happen for DC there, which is kind of Synergy's bread and butter. He's very accurate when it comes to those short and medium passes. We have seen a couple times they try to go deep there, but hasn't been too successful so far in this game.
Here is Synergy to throw. Fires on the out route. Baltimore there. Ooh, man, Synergy got away with one there. Marvin Himes almost made him pay the price.
Yeah, now you could see Himes was right there right away as the ball was going out. So basically, it was up to him if he wanted to reach for that catch or kind of go conservative and go for the incompletion. This time, he just looks to connect with Banfield there, Churchill, I should say, and causes an incompletion.
Synergy, 1,300 yards coming into the game. That's middle of the pack, 15th best in the SFL, but he's got to go down the field in a hurry. 4 minutes to go in the 4th. He will take a shot, and it's picked off! Coming back the other way, all the way down to the 13-yard line. A pick for Alvin Mack, and for Baltimore, that might seal this one.
Now, it's a very costly interception there from Shabazz Synergy, and it looked like Alvin Hayes was pretty much Alvin Mack, I should say. I'm mixing up names here, but Alvin Mack was pretty much looking at the eyes of Synergy to see where he was going to throw, and he knew that it was coming his way, and he was ready for it right away. And now Baltimore has a chance to basically seal this deal here. They're inside the 20. It's already field goal range. This could be deadly.
Return of the Mack will set them up 1st and 10. Wigmore fires on the out route. That is incomplete. That is the 3rd time, Brett. Same play for that backup tight end, and he might be on the waiver wire next week.
Yeah, he's risking it right now. You give him a 3rd try to catch it, and he drops it a 3rd time. Like it's something you cannot do in the SFL. That's one of the things where you either gotta go back to the practice field and just do 1,000 reps of that, or you're going to be on the waiver wire, buddy.
2 receivers split out, 1 back in the backfield, 4 down linemen, and here is Wigmore looking to float it back in the end zone, and not good. Chima way out of bounds on that one.
Yeah, it was a big risky pass from Wigmore, and he tried to sling it a little bit further and try to pinpoint it right to that top right-hand corner of the end zone, and just put a little bit too much mustard on it. And with me liking mustard, it's just a little bit too much for me.
3 receivers split out, 2 backs in the backfield, 3rd and 10 from the 13. Here is Wigmore going to toss underneath, caught and out of bounds goes Daley Holder. And Brett, that was probably the best case scenario for DC. A field goal here would just keep it at a 2-score game.
Yeah, and not a lot of clock went off either. Like there's still a shade under 4 minutes left to go here. After this kick is probably going to be 3:40, and then we're looking at probably 3:35 after the kick return, depending on how far Rockefeller goes on the return. So there's still plenty of time for DC to get back in this game.
Tarkington, the kicker, will come out to try and extend this lead. Low snap again, kick up and on the way, and good from 26 yards. Now 33-20. DC down by 13. 2 touchdowns would put them in the lead, Brett.
That was exactly be it there. So we're going back to what I said earlier. They need a quick drive for a touchdown here, and it looks like they're going to have to do an onside kick afterwards to recover the ball back. But it's not a lot of clock left, so DC has to work quick.
Tarkington on to send this one away with 3:40 to go in the fourth. Here is Rockefeller out to return it. Will angle it across the 25, spins, and out to the 27. Let's check in with London and Portland and what's going on around the league at SFL Studios. Cam and Mike.
Wild game, Andy, in Portland. And since we last joined you, Mike, we've had 2 interceptions and this touchdown.
Yeah, Cam, back and forth in the Pacific Northwest. OJ Bruin finds Art Vanderlei on a long touchdown pass behind the defense, his second of the day. Portland goes up 31-27 midway through the fourth quarter.
5 minutes left now on that one.
Back in DC, gun straight look is caught across the middle. Huge throw from Synergy to open the drive. They need these throws.
They absolutely need these throws, and they need to continue hurrying up here.
Here's Synergy again, another deep shot. That one in and out of the hands of the receiver and incomplete.
That's basically the same look almost from Synergy there, and this time Troy Loshaw, one of the defenders there to get his hands on the football, kind of a little bit of a hot potato drill there that drops to the ground, and it stops the clock for DC, which is good, and Baltimore kind of gets a little bit of a respite too after 2 quick plays.
Gotta be careful if your Synergy can't give the ball away. Just have to find the open receivers and move the ball down the field. Baltimore playing man coverage here against 4 receivers. Fires across the middle, caught, first down yardage there. I believe that's Jeff Banfield.
Yeah, Banfield does it again here. He's been big all game for Synergy, and they're going to continue with this offensive drive.
Going to throw again, fires underneath. That is caught. That is first down yardage there. Mike Churchill with the catch.
And a big, strong kind of run to get to that first down line.
Quick throw again. This one out to Kevin Say out of the backfield. Say can't get out of bounds.
No, and it continues to run the clock, so they're going to have to keep going with the hurry up here.
4 wide. Here is Synergy out to Say again. Say spins back inside, and that was detrimental.
Now it's a big detrimental thing. He could have gone out of bounds and stopped the clock, but now they're going to have to hurry up once again. It might be the same play.
Here's the throw, and that is incomplete, and it looks almost, Brett, like Churchill didn't even attempt to catch it.
Yeah, he definitely wasn't ready for that. He was still kind of going the progression of his route, maybe trying to change direction on that one, but the ball was already pretty much like a yard away from him as he was trying to change his direction. So that's a little bit too quick of a pass from Synergy here. And it's looking like they're going to go for this, which is a good idea for DC.
Gotta have it. 4th and 6. They have to get out to the 18-yard line to keep this drive alive. Need 13 points to get back into this one. Synergy, short drop, quick throw, caught, but tackled shy of the sticks. It's the tackle there that will end this drive and give the ball back to Baltimore. Alvin Mack with the play there on Jesse Glover.
Yeah, it's a huge stop from Alvin Mack there, and now Baltimore will have the football back. DC only has 2 timeouts to work with, along with a 2-minute warning. There's about 2:20 left in this, so there's going to be a couple plays, maybe just one from Baltimore before we hit the 2-minute break. But the big thing, I think, is that maybe a first down or 2, and then Baltimore seals the deal.
Yeah, Vultures out in front and in control with the opportunity to clean this one up. The Vultures at 5-0 will move to 6-0 as long as they can run this clock out. Handoff up the middle is good for 4.
Yeah, and that's a big play from the defense there. Now Baltimore, they can just run the ball as much as they want here, or if they want to play their passing game, which at this point close to 50 attempts for Wigmore here.
That is the 2-minute warning. 33-20, DC down by 13. Baltimore with the football. And Brett, I tell you what, we'll stay right here for this one. Brett Solberg along with Andy Hamilton, Mark Lopez, and Justin Reside running the stats truck for us. Cameron Irvine and Mike St. Green back at SFL Studios producing today's game, and Baltimore trying to run this clock out. They have 2 minutes, and DC with only 2 timeouts to burn. Far back is Hazard. They'll give it to him off the left side with a spin, and he is out to the 27. Timeout Dragons.
Yeah, that's the one of the 2 timeouts that they're going to use here. And DC, this is going to be the play that decides it, I think, because with 1 timeout left, if Baltimore gets this first down, I feel like it's going to be the final nail in the coffin for DC in this game.
100% agree with you, Brett. 2 receivers split out. Single back is Hazard. 4-3 look out of DC. Here is Wigmore. Wants the deep shot to end it, but it's picked off. The Dragons going to return it, and they'll be in great field position down to the Baltimore 36. A clutch play from DeSantis.
And DeSantis has been so good in this second half with great coverage. We saw the almost deflection on the Ivory Irvin Superman catch there. This time he gets the interception that he wanted earlier and gives DC good field position, almost field goal range, I would say. And this is the breath of life that DC has desperately needed in this fourth quarter.
We hope you didn't go anywhere, because this one isn't done just yet, and still a timeout for the Dragons. Empty backfield, 4 receivers wide for Shabazz Synergy on a short drop. Quick toss that is caught, tackled at the first down marker.
Yeah, and the defender gave him a little bit of help there, pushing him to the first down line on that tackle.
This Cloud with the grab. Here's Synergy going to take a deep shot. Caught! No! Dropped out of his hands. It looked like he had it, but Banfield could not hold on.
It looked like as he was sliding down with his shoulder hitting the ground, or maybe a little bit of deflection there as we see the replay. Just unfortunate for Banfield not to get that catch, because that would have been a huge catch. That would have been inside the 10, and it would have been great momentum for DC.
34 to go here in the fourth. 2nd and 10. They're going to send a gun straight. Watch the receiver at the bottom of the screen. Here is Synergy against a 3-2. Synergy in the gun will take a short drop. Going to throw down to the bottom of the screen, and it's out of the reach of the receiver. Stacking paper there, and coverage says no.
Yeah, it's about 3 or 4 yards overthrown from Synergy. Josh Gill was almost about to get there. He was Synergy was hoping that he would get to the spot, but Gill couldn't run to that spot with enough time, so it drops down, and now it's a 3rd and 10 for DC as they go shotgun once again.
And straight, going to see a similar route out of the bottom receiver. Synergy in the gun, stands, snap to Synergy, going to throw across the middle this time into double coverage. Caught!
Wow.
Touchdown Dragons! Double coverage doesn't matter. Jeff Banfield's there for 6.
We were waiting for a Jeff Banfield touchdown all game because he's been so effective in the passing game for DC. This time he gets in the end zone, and this is what DC needs. They're back in this game. Get the extra point. Oh, what a thread. What a thread of the needle pass from Synergy. That's just a perfect pass. You couldn't ask for any better of a pass from Shabazz Synergy after overthrowing Josh Gill. Just a great play from DC. They're back in this, Andy.
Onions there as Jeff Banfield mosses 2, if not 3 receiver or defensive backs for Baltimore to give DC a fighting chance in this game. Pautee up for the extra point. It is up and good. Now 27-33 with a minute 26, and it all comes down to this, Brett. They need the onside.
Yeah, they need the onside kick. They need a really good kick from Pautee here. See if they can run to that football as quickly as possible and get that ball back.
Rookie, they took him 2nd overall in the first round. He has the ball on the tee with a chance to keep DC alive. Kick is up, and Baltimore fields it. Daly Holder grabs it out of the air, and the Vultures have the football.
Yeah, that's a big catch from Daly Holder, and he's been a big X factor in the second half for Baltimore. This time helping out with the special teams unit this go around here. And if I'm Jack Wigmore in the Baltimore offense, they're going to go with victory formation here to utilize DC's final timeout.
1:24 to go, and DC will burn that last timeout, and that is where the timeout earlier in the game, Brett, might just hurt DC. If they wouldn't have used it so early, would have had a second one here.
Yeah, and yeah, absolutely. If they would have had one more timeout, this would have changed probably the approach for Baltimore's drive, and maybe going with a run instead of victory formation, which it looks like they're going to keep going to shed as much clock as possible. I have to do the math with how much time they're going to have left afterwards, though.
Not pick up the first down, will not be in field goal range. And so we'll have to see how the clock ticks out here. I think, Brett, if I'm doing the math right, it looks like DC might get the ball back.
It looks like they will get the ball back, but I think it's going to be very close. I think it's somewhere between 11 and 20 seconds, depends on...
Yeah, it won't be much.
It's not going to be much, so DC is going to have to get a good play out of this.
This one will be a victory formation, and Wigmore, the veteran, smartly takes all the time off the clock. And that, Brett, I just think, is a testament to Baltimore. Lots of veterans on this team, a couple rookies, but the Vultures really are smart with how they handle football games.
That's exactly it. Yeah, they're general manager T. Roy Gaines he's one of the smartest minds in the SFL. He's definitely up there. If you had a Mount Rushmore of general managers, he would be up there for sure. So he's done a fantastic job, especially with this Baltimore team, making it 5-0 as it is right now, and very close to 6-0. Like this is going to be a close clock for DC.
Punter is on. He will take as much time. This one might be Kanye Rockefeller returns it for a touchdown, or Baltimore moves to 6-0. Rockefeller will stand at the 10. He spins. Rockefeller got a little bit of a run going, but it will not go the distance. Zeros 33 for Baltimore, 27 for DC. The Vultures get the victory, and let's send it over to Portland and London for some bonus coverage for the conclusion. Commentary, take it away.
Oh, would have that been something? And London's going to fair catch it with 23 seconds left at their own 42. 23 seconds to make it 68 yards? That's not impossible. And we welcome everyone here from For the Fans. 23 seconds left. London's down by 7. This game is not yet over, folks. Despite what we were just saying about 2 minutes ago. Not even. Johnny Pickler's in the shotgun. Looking around, throws short over the middle, and that is not the throw you want to be making when you have so little time and so much that you need to get.
But it stops the clock.
True.
It does stop the clock, and being that London no longer has any timeouts, you're going to take something like that over... something short yards down the middle that forces the clock into running and forces you into the hurry up.
20 seconds left. Ball's on their own 42. Looking around is Johnny Pickler, throws it over the middle. That's going to be caught inbounds up to the 44. They're going to have to run it back. Are they going to spike it, or are they just going to try and run another play? They're going to spike it here. 8 seconds left. 8 seconds. That's about enough time for maybe 2 plays from the line of scrimmage. Maybe.
Realistically, it's only one. I think London's going to try the Hail Mary here just to try and get it into the end zone at this point.
Yeah, again, it might be 2 depending on how things work out here, though. Might be 2. Pickler looking around. Pickler nearly hit as he throws, goes deep over the middle, tipped incomplete. And aren't I smart? They get a second shot at life with just 3 seconds left.
I hate that you're right, Jack, but you're right. They do still have a chance for one more play here. They have to go for it all and then some, though, in order to try and take this into overtime.
They need a touchdown and at least an extra point to win it. To tie it. If they want to win it, though, they can go for 2, but I can't imagine they would be that risky. 3 seconds left. Pickler in the shotgun. Pickler snaps a little bit high. Move around the pocket. Sacked! That's it! That's ball game. Portland wins.
Yeah, chalk that up to Bernard Patterson on the game-winning sack there. And the Portland Fleet come out with it 34-27. What a game.
What a ball game. And what a win for the Portland Fleet to extend their win streak.
After London Portland bonus coverage post-game, that will conclude the SFL on For the Fans today. For Mike St. Green and Cameron Irvine in the studio, this has been a presentation of the Simulation Football League presented by APM Music. Enjoy the post-game. What a win for Portland and Baltimore here this afternoon. Have a great day, everybody.
Yeah, absolutely. The worst one was the one on that last drive before the Hail Mary attempts. They were on the 25. They had a chance. Unfortunately, an errant ball from Pickler causes a last-second interception, and it ends up costing London the game here, as they're going to drop to 3-3.
But meanwhile, on the other side, Portland, that's their 4th straight win. And even their last loss, it was 36-30 to Baltimore. Ever since they got blown out week 1 against Houston, they have been arguably a top 5 caliber team in the SFL.
Absolutely. I have to think with this win, they're definitely in the conversation for that top 5. You know, you could even put them maybe closer to the top 3.
Yeah, definitely. Ezekiel Love, he certainly did what he needed to do today, but despite the fact the highlights are showing a interception, OJ Bruin did the job he needed to do. He got 167 yards, got a couple touchdowns, and Portland has become a very dynamic, balanced attack that it's really hard to game plan for.
Yeah, because like you can plan all you want for Portland's run game, but if you focus too much on containing Ezekiel Love, we saw it here in this game. OJ Bruin can throw it deep to Art Vandelay, throw it to Nelson Lozano, Benjamin Warner, John Valentine. There's a lot of weapons that this Portland offense has, and I don't think really any team in the SFL is going to be prepared for it moving forward.
No, meanwhile for London, of course, dropping to 3-3, there's a lot worse places to be, especially for London, a team that over the past few seasons has been really caught in a rut. To be at 500 heading into the back half of the season, that's a very good thing for them. Player of the game honors here in Portland go to Ezekiel Love, the halfback. 170 yards on 28 attempts and 2 tutties with 5 receiving yards. I mean, there's no one else who could have been.
No, not at all.
And when we come back from this upcoming break, Cam Irvine and Mike St. Green will be there too. Or actually, that concludes our coverage here tonight, folks. We say so long and have a fantastic evening.